What's up, everybody? This is Coach Carlos with Coaching for Paws, and today we're going to learn a couple of things. One of them is we're going to learn how to mark a behavior, and then the other thing is we're going to learn my favorite behavior when training a dog that could later on help you with dogs running away, pulling on the leash, even dog or people aggression. So that's probably why it's my favorite behavior. Before we get started into our session, I'd like to say thanks to everybody that has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the support. If you haven't yet, click subscribe down below. I also like to thank anybody that has liked our Facebook page. I think we're up to like 1,500 likes on our Facebook page, which is awesome. Thank you so much. That page is Coaching for Paws. For those of you that haven't liked it yet, go on Facebook, like us. Coaching for Paws on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go follow us on all those. And please, don't forget, subscribe down below. First things first, we're going to learn how to mark a behavior. So when you mark a behavior, you're letting the dog know that's the behavior that I'm paying you for, that I'm giving you treats for. A couple ways to mark the behavior. You could use a word like yes, or me personally, I like to use the clicker. I think most people are familiar with the clickers. You click, makes a little noise. How you introduce this is pretty simple. At first, I just keep my dog on a leash, keep him close by. I click the button, pay. Click the button, pay. Food. Food. So that they understand that this noise means I'm going to get food. I'm going to get paid for that behavior. So once your dog understands this, I like to do this for, probably a couple of days. Just during feeding time, I just grab a handful of food. Here's your food. Grab a handful of food. Here's your food. So that the dog understands this noise means I'm getting some food. Another way you could do it is the same thing, but instead of clicking, I like to use the word yes. So I have the food in my hand. Yes, feed. Yes, feed. The reason for marking the behavior, I've gotten this question quite a bit, is why do I want to mark the behavior? Why don't I just give the dog the treat? And it's pretty simple. By the time the behavior happens and you reach into your treat pouch or your whatever, your pocket, you give the dog a treat, the timing's not so spot on. With this, or with the word, as soon as your dog, say I'm teaching sit, if your dog's butt hits the ground, as soon as it hits the ground, boom, immediately I let the dog know that's the behavior I like. Then it takes me a couple of seconds to get my food and it's not a big deal. So that's why it's important to mark the behavior. Let your dog know the second it happens, yes, that's the one, that's the behavior you're getting paid for. And they learn much, much, much faster. I've had some people that don't want to mark the behavior right away, and you see them in class, they kind of get left behind. Everybody else's dogs start picking things up really fast, and their dogs still learn, but it's almost like they're struggling to learn new behaviors. So always mark your behaviors. That's number one. And the second thing we're going to learn is my favorite behavior that, again, could later on stop dog aggression, dog leash pulling, people aggression, or dogs running away, which is the look command or the focus command, which is not actually a command, it's just a behavior. Once your dog looks at you, again, I like to use it during feeding time. I grab the food, the dog looks at me, click, pay. The minute you get eye contact. So if this is my dog, and the minute they look at me, boom, I click and pay, click and pay. So that the dog understands that looking at me is how they get the food. And it's kind of funny because you'll start to see the food is right here, the dog is right here, and instead of the dog looking at the food, they understand in order for me to get that, I have to look at me, and then I get that. So look at me, you get that. And then later on, how that helps you is, if you're the most valuable thing, why would your dog want to run off? So dog aggression, we take the food out there, make my dog focus on me, not these other dogs. Obviously from a distance, I'm not going to set my dog up for failure, but once the dog learns to focus on me instead of focus on everything else, equals I get to eat, then the dog's going to be like, well, it's a no-brainer. I focus on the dogs, nothing happens. Dad probably yanks on the leash and everything and gets uncomfortable. If I just ignore the dogs, look at dad, plus, I mean, I'm doing it with their food, so they haven't eaten breakfast or they haven't eaten dinner. I focus on dad or mom and I get paid for it. Same thing with any other behavior. I like to do my dog training during breakfast or dinner. I use their own food. So mark your behaviors and get that dog to focus on you. Because if you become the most valuable thing out there, your dog's not going to want to look at it elsewhere. I always tell my clients, Mother Nature has no trouble distracting your dog, throwing all sorts of distractions, dogs, squirrels, leaves, whatever. So mark your behaviors, get that dog to focus on you, and pay them. Don't be in a rush to graduate out of paying your dog. You don't work for free. Your dog doesn't want to work for free either. So think about that for a second. Build that relationship, master the behavior. Once you're out of the training phases and you've mastered things, then you can worry about doing it without a paycheck. But you don't go to work for free. Why should your dog? Alrighty, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Subscribe, like our Facebook page, Coaching 4 Paws, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you.